Thank you for joining us to learn more about Kingston enhancements with IT Operations Management. My name is Joshua Lin. I'm Senior Product Marketing Manager for IT Operations Management. And today I'll be walking you through some of the major enhancements. We're going to cover service mapping in particular, focusing in on traffic-based discovery. We'll also talk about the guided user experience. Then we're going to switch over to event management, and we're going to cover the performance analytics KPIs that are available with the performance analytics license. And we're going to also talk about application content import that's available for service mapping and cloud management. So let's dive in more details with service mapping. So it's very important to be able to have service visibility when we talk about eliminating service outages. One of the key areas that we talk about is pinpointing disruptions, that is being able to connect our infrastructure with our key business services. And so we need service maps to be able to make this connection and be able to see the root cause of these service outages. But the problem is that oftentimes it takes a lot of time to create these service maps. There are a lot of people that need to be involved in terms of the business service owners, and all this information needs to be collected together to create these initial service maps. In Kingston, we've added traffic-based discovery, so now it's easy to create these initial service maps. We're looking continuously at network traffic connections and able to collect this information that normally might be missed when we're only taking once daily samples. So this is enabling us to be able to create initial service maps very quickly so that we can refine them with more information from subject matter experts. The process of creating service maps can seem very overwhelming. There are a lot of different people to connect with, to collect information. So what we've introduced is also a guided user experience to streamline the collection of this information, the creation of these service maps with further information. So it's very simplified, all within one user interface. The mapping admin is able to connect with all the different business service owners and get the information that is required to create these service maps. Now, in terms of eliminating service outages, when we talk about proactively identifying issues, usually we're starting with all these alerts that come in from our monitoring tools and being able to track these alerts and manage these alerts and take action on these important critical alerts. So with Kingston, event management now has out-of-the-box reports and KPIs that are available when you have a performance analytics license. So then you're able to gain insight into all the alert activity that's taking place. You're able to see how well you're doing. Are we doing a better job in terms of making sure that these alerts are closed out in a very short amount of time? Are we doing a good job in terms of ensuring that our services are highly available? Finally, another major enhancement in Kingston is that no longer do we have to wait for the next release to import application content for service mapping or for cloud management. So for example, there may be new patterns for detecting devices and applications that we would want to import into service mapping. But in the past, we would have to wait for the next release before we could do that. Or perhaps there are new cloud integrations that we want to import into cloud management. But again, we'd have to wait for the next release to be able to add those. With Kingston, now your customers are able to take this new application content and add it and import it to their instance whenever they want. They don't have to wait for the next release. So here, I'm going to segue into the demo to just provide more detail regarding some of these enhancements I've just talked about. Let's start with service mapping. As you can see here, it's a very simplified user interface now that shows the status of our mapping activities. Various mapping candidates, service maps that need to be fixed, maps that need to be approved, and maps that have been completed. So let's start the process of mapping a single service. So I'm going to define a single service map. So as the mapping admin, I need to collect information from the subject matter experts, that is the business service owner. So I can go here, and as you can see, this interface enables me to put in whatever information I know. So right here, I would enter in the name of a business service that I need information about. Then I can go here, and if I know the owner of the business service, I can put down the business service owner's name here. And let's say I know it's a web application. So we've got a bunch of templates here where we can collect information. So we're going to collect information for a web application. And let's say here that I don't know what the URL entry point is. So then I would be able to go here to Actions and reach out to that business service owner and request information. So I would maybe type something like, please send me the URL entry point for your business service. In that way, we're able to connect and streamline the process of collecting information to build out these service maps. Now, what does a service map look like once it's been completed? Go back to the home page here, and we're going to look at one of these completed service maps. So there are 3 of them that are completed. There's this plants by Webster HA proxy. Let's take a look at this completed service map. And so this was made possible because of the traffic-based discovery and going out there and continuously monitoring the network-based connections to be able to make the connections, determine what are the relevant nodes to be included, to make sure that we're excluding all kinds of irrelevant connections and all kinds of noise that would make a service map very confusing to be able to navigate and to just be able to understand. So what we've done here is this completed service map. You can see here that some of these items here have been grouped together right here. So we've discovered these items, but typically with traffic-based discovery, there's a lot of noise, and so there may be a lot of things that are related that turn up. But what we've done here is we've grouped them together so it's easier to read the service map. We've also been able to determine through machine learning if there are irrelevant connections that we don't want to include in this view as well. And so as a result, you have a very simplified view, a very quick way of being able to draw these kind of service maps using traffic-based discovery, using the machine learning capabilities in Kingston for service mapping. Now let's take a look at some of the enhancements that I talked about involving event management. The enhancements here regarding performance analytics reports and KPIs, again, this requires a performance analytics license in addition to event management. But what that gives you out of the box is a lot of metrics that you don't have to build yourself. You don't have to create these performance indicators yourself. Instead, you've got this overview here showing you all these active alerts, critical alerts, affected business services. You can look at your impacted services, average services impact time, and a lot of different scorecards. Here you can look at average age open alerts. And for example, if you want to have other views, let's say, for example, we want to determine how well we're doing in closing alerts, the amount of time. So we'd go here to Event Management Insights, to Alert Lifecycle. We look at the closed alerts. And right here, we've got average resolution time of closed alerts. So we can look at this. We have a chart here. We can look at it over a 3-month period. And what we can see here is that, in general, it seems like there's a downward trend in the average resolution time of closed alerts. So it looks like we're improving here. So this new capability in Kingston for event management enables us to have insight into how well we're doing in terms of eliminating service outages, and of course, ensuring that we have reliable service availability. So the Kingston enhancements we've covered today mainly involve service mapping and event management. For service mapping, we've invested a lot to make the service mapping experience a lot faster and a lot easier. Traffic-based discovery enables customers to be able to create initial service maps very quickly by collecting all this network-based information that is continuously being monitored. Now we can refine these service maps further through a guided user process. So now the mapping admin and all the various business service owners can be connected together through a single streamlined process. We can reach out to the different business owners for all the missing information that we need. That information can be communicated back and then incorporated into the service maps. With event management, we've made it easier to manage how well we're doing with all these alerts. So with the performance analytics reports and KPIs, which require a performance analytics license, customers now are able to see how effective their efforts at proactively identifying issues and eliminating service outages, how effective those efforts are. And then finally, customers no longer have to wait for new releases in order to be able to import new application content. Things such as service mapping patterns or cloud integrations for cloud management, these new application content items can be imported into service mapping or cloud management whenever customers want. So with all these new enhancements, we hope you'll be very excited about what ITOM can do to help you eliminate service outages or get to cloud faster. If you would like to learn more, you can contact your sales rep or your partner. And don't forget to go to HIGH to upgrade to Kingston. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us today.